It started with the Storm knocking off the Roosters, and that was unexpected. You're talking about two top teams there, 46 points to nil. But then the Saturday, the three matches, 148 for the winning teams, 6 for the three losing sides. Gal, I've heard a lot of different versions as to why this is happening. It's clubs being run badly. It's the changing of the rules. It's teams not fit enough to keep up.
I generally think it's a combination of all those things. I think it's a bit of everything. I think it's the rule change without a doubt. You've got to remember, Gus knows better than me. Clubs put teams together, rosters together to probably last a 2 to 3 year period. Now, the rules have only just come in midway through last year, and there's been an enormous amount of rule changes. I mean, the game has changed like we've never seen in over 100 years. We've had more changes in the past 12 to 18 months than we've ever seen before. So I think it's a combination of all them things. I think you throw on top of that the playing talent. I just don't think there's enough playing talent, and I'm really starting to buy in to what Gus was saying about player development, clubs developing players. There's just not enough of it. So I think when you throw all them things together, it's contributing to some of these results, because some of these teams that are getting lapped, we're seeing it often. It's not just a one-off where someone's getting smashed by 40 points. It's teams are getting beat, not week in, week out, but quite regularly by a lot of points and not scoring points. So without a doubt, it's a combination of all them things.
Can you fix it on the run? Is this something, Gus, that we can tweak like they have with the rules, etc., or are we going to have some long-term pain?
No. Statistically, what we can show is if we go, and I got David Middleton and we went right through the last 2 or 3 years, so 2019, the average number of points scored per game, then you can see a rise when we brought the 6 again in for the ruck infringements. There was a small rise in total points per game. And then we introduced 6 again for the offside, so we've got 2 lots of 6 again in the contest. Points went up again, marginally, but they certainly went up, you could see it. The most significant increase came with the crackdown on the head-high tackles, because that changed the way teams had to defend and their mentality of defending. Very submissive and not being as physical as they would like to, or they've been trained to be, or they've learned to be. And as Gal says, they've changed the rules and teams have had to learn a whole new different way of defending, and they're just not getting it right. And it's so much favoured the attacking side, or the attacking football, that once the good sides get on a roll, it's just a talent difference. That's all there is. And then it becomes a mental issue, because we haven't got players that have been trained mentally or coached mentally. They worry about the physical. They don't worry about the mental side of it. They can't show any mental resilience while they're out there. It's a whole range of factors that come into this. Wayne Bennett raised this week that it's a toxic nature in some clubs, and they're not being coached properly, they're not being managed properly. Well, yeah, that's a factor. He's got a point, but it's not the only factor. There are a number of things. You put the rule changes on top of poor development pathways over the last 4 or 5 years, the standard of coaching in our game. We lost 5 head coaches last year, right? And all those other factors, and then throwing rule changes at you, without ideal preparation. This is what we're getting, and they're not going to back up on the rules.
Gus,
they're going to keep going.
Can we fit another team in the competition? I think playing talent's an issue. How are we going to fit another 30 players in the competition?
Well, you're going to have to get 15 from Melbourne and 15 from Penrith and send them off to a new team. That's how you do it.
But that weakens Penrith.
Yeah, so all these years that we went through and had to argue with the people in the game saying that the salary cap was evening out the talent. Salary cap never evened out the talent at all. It diluted the talent. The way our game was run diluted the talent. The getting away from development pathways diluted the talent, all right? And that was being obvious. So anyway, I'm being told to shut up.
By who? We would never do that, Gus.